Tribulation Trump is going to cheat. He's a cheater. The boy is a he's always cheated all his life. And there was let's go one more article from the left-wing people, right? Alex Witt had this writer from the Atlantic magazine on the other day, and she wrote this article. She said everybody ought to read that Trump is going to cheat in the 2020 election. He's already cheating, but Mr. Engineer, roll that clip, please.
White House officials rejecting reports outright of a House Intelligence Committee briefing saying that Russia may be interfering in the 2020 election to help President Trump. But my next guest says in this election, facts may not matter, as she raises questions about how far the president will go to hold on to power. Joining me now, Sarah Perry, former senior speechwriter for President Barack Obama. Sarah, big welcome to you. I just got to point out this article. I wish folks could see it because almost every word has been highlighted for me, including your headline. It's pretty bold. The title is, Trump is going to cheat. How so? How do you expect the president to cheat?
Well, I think the challenge is that we almost can't imagine the number of ways he's going to cheat, right? So we know he lies. We know that he's going to continue telling lies. We know he's going to completely misrepresent his record. So, for example, the budget that he proposes will cut Medicare and Medicaid, but he's going to go around saying that he's going to, support Medicare and Medicaid and potentially even add to it. And we know that that's not true. But he's going to misrepresent his case. We know that he already tried to cheat and was, in fact, impeached for it, right? He basically extorted an ally of ours in order to get political dirt on a political opponent. It was entirely for his own personal gain. So he's already done it. He was acquitted by a completely partisan Republican Senate that was willing basically to give him what he wants. And so now he is even more emboldened, and we don't know what he's going to do, and we don't know how it's going to happen. And then in addition to that, one of the things that we now know is that he is launching this, billion-dollar misinformation campaign that the likes of which we've never seen. So if you put it all together, it's clear that he is not going to play by the same old typical political rules, and we've always known that. But I think what's coming into sharper relief is that it's going to be chaotic, and that's kind of what he wants. And I don't know if we're necessarily prepared to handle that, especially since we've got this really long primary season ahead of us.
Not prepared to handle that. I mean, this is an electability crisis for the Democratic nominee that he or she faces. I mean, how does one run against a president by the description you're portraying?
Right. I mean, I think that the challenge, and there are many here, is that we talk about electability as though it's just about, who's got the policies that can potentially attract Obama-Trump voters and who can energize our base. And those are all important questions. But if we spend a lot of time worrying about how someone's going to hypothetically pay for Medicare for all, we are missing the ball game here. And so I think that the dread permeating the primary process up until now and continuing forward is this kind of anxiety that we don't really know how to run against somebody who's not going to play by the rules. I don't think that the answer is for us to do the same thing. I don't think the answer is for Democrats to get in the mud and to lie and cheat, because that breeds a kind of nihilism, a cynicism about the process that will turn voters away even more. So I don't think that's the answer. I do think one thing that we can do is put a lot more pressure on, for example, Senate Republicans to do things like actually pass election security bills that they are now holding up.
The problem here, and Alex Whitten and this author, the problem is that all politicians lie and cheat. I mean, that's what politicians do. They lie and they cheat. Trump does it in an in-your-face way, and he does it in a way that I think that is probably insulting to the American psyche, because he's using foreign governments, which is something I don't think that anyone is. Trump has set the pattern of using foreign governments, and Russia, who is looking to meddle into the elections and disrupt our election process, and I don't think anyone has ever done that before. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.